Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sindenberg. Today, we are breaking down the final two episodes, episodes 9 and 10 of season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus. So, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, out-of-theater reactions, movie rankings, and box office breakdown show every Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. What are your thoughts on season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Is this a good outing for the MCU? I know it already got renewed for 2 more seasons, but are you excited for 2 more seasons? Do you think this is out of a forgettable MCU project? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, please, guys, hit that thumbs up button to tight support this channel. Helps with YouTube algorithm out. Help me get recommended to more people. So the more you guys like my videos, the more new people will find me. So please, it takes 2 seconds out of your time. Go hit that thumbs up button down below. So as I said, as I haven't said yet, I've really enjoyed doing these breakdowns the last month. It's kind of sad at times when you get all these episodes together like this, where it feels like you watch 10 episodes in a month. Sometimes, MCU most of the time is weekly episodes. And with Daredevil coming out, they don't really have time to wait 10 weeks to kind of do this show. So I understood how they did 2-3-3-2. And overall, with the show, I think this is a really excellent MCU show. It's definitely in my top 5 or 6 MCU TV shows. And the reason why is, again, I do love Spider-Man, but this felt fresh and different than I was expecting. I was nervous this would kind of be either a feel too closely connected to the Tom Holland one, where I feel like they're trying to do a prequel for him, even though this has nothing to do with anything with the Tom Holland universe, or would I not care because it has nothing to do with the main MCU 616 universe? But I think what makes the show really good is when it's not because it's not in the MCU 616 and it has to fit itself into the established lore, especially for it as important character to the MCU as Tom Holland Spider-Man. Now, this I think was actually the better direction from a story level for the show, and it really came together in this episode because you're combining Doctor Strange in the episode, Venom, the overall MCU plus Spider-Man lore. Sometimes it can feel like a lot, but I found it to be really enjoyable. So episode 9 of the show was mainly this fight between Spider-Man and Lonnie going up against Scorpion when the 110th and the Scorpion gangs meet up trying to get all of the Otto's gear from where he had it, because it's now going to Oscorp. It was part of Norman's deal of telling Ross where Otto was. Norman cuts a really good line with Otto in the prison, where he's basically talking all this trash that I won, you have to eat defeat. So we get this fight, and Peter does something very similar to what Tom Holland's Peter did in No Way Home, where it was like Peter kind of got into the anger and he was about to stab, Norman Osborn. Tobey Maguire's character of Spider-Man stepped in to stop him from doing that. In this show, it was Lonnie. Now, Lonnie does get infected with one of the Oscorp things, which obviously will turn into the physical tombstone. We saw that in the last scene of his in the season, where his fingertips were getting white, as the character looks that way in the comics. Not white, but the grayish brick-like Tombstone is. If you've seen the video game or the comics, you know what Tombstone eventually will look like. But we get this, Peter saving, Nico, and then Peter obviously having this team up with Lonnie, but Big Don leaves, and it obviously leads to Lonnie now taking over the 110th gang, which we knew was going to happen. They realized that the football team lost the championship, and they are now looking for a new quarterback, confirming that Lonnie now is out of the school. Don't know really how the parents are totally okay with this. Lonnie does say, I could do this, the web thing at the end of the episode, and he could do community college. We'll see if I'm excited to see. Again, Lonnie was one of the best characters on the show. I wish the character of Lonnie had more to do in the finale. Kind of like they kind of left him just with last in the 9th episode. So I wish he had a bigger impact with the 9th episode. But let's move into the 10th episode. We all want to talk about this. So much stuff happens in this episode. So basically, the main part is we learn that what all of the kids were working on in the internship was building this ray of sorts to open up to the cosmos. And outside of one of the kids, of course, now I'm forgetting the person's name, Obadiah something. Of course, now I'm forgetting the kid's name. Now I feel like an idiot, but whatever. He is all cool with it. But all the other students and even people who work at Oscorp, including the upcoming Lizard, they're like, this is not cool. Obviously they were not told what these experiments were for. Norman, does this, and Dr. Strange comes in and said, "You cannot do this." And that's when Peter says, "You are the one who basically destroyed Midtown High." And that's when Norman goes off and says, you are the people who help destroy things. I'm helping to save things. Norman opens it. Obviously, it's the Venom creature from episode 1. And then you understand the tie-in because when Peter gets thrown into the wall, a spider breaks out. We also know that Norman took Peter's blood and was trying to use that to replicate to make more Spider-Men. And that is when, obviously, we finally realize when they go to the time travel that this is actually a time travel episode because the events when Doctor Strange is fighting that Venom creature in the first episode and Peter gets bitten by the spider is all caused by this event in the future. And the spider goes in, that's when Doctor Strange falls in, and Peter realizes that he is from the actual future. Norman's like, we did all of this, Peter understands what I can do for you. Peter then, had a talk with Norman last episode. So they get this whole thing. The thing explodes with the help of Peter and Doctor Strange. And then the show just goes into basically 10 post-credit scenes. There's no technical post-credit scenes, but felt like I watched 10 post-credit scenes in the final 5 minutes or so of the show. We get Nico with her little thing that she didn't tell anyone about. She can communicate with her mom. Lonnie takes over the 110th. You see the tombstone fingers, and he leaves the jacket behind. May meets up with Peter's father, Richard Parker, who is in prison. Now, we have not seen much of Richard Parker in many Spider-Man projects, really outside of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And that obviously did not go well. One of the worst aspects of the Andrew Garfield films were the mystery of what the Parkers actually did. Obviously, Richard is in prison. May lying to Peter saying I have to run errands. Obviously, Peter has no idea either that Richard's in prison or even that May speaks with him. So that obviously be continued. Norman is the one who interacts with the Venom, the symbiote that's left from the strand of the creature that came in. So in the Spider-Man 2 video game, again, spoilers for that, Norman used the symbiote to try to cure Harry of his illness in Spider-Man 2, the PS5 game, and that actually turned Harry into Venom in that game. I thought that was done extremely well. Obviously, Harry is not sick. Harry creates the web. So he, with the help of Peter and Nico, create a separate company away from Oscorp where they can do all their experiments and science stuff without being lied to, without a bigger goal set for. They can kind of just do their own things without someone, a boss, lying to them. So Harry's already now moving away from his dad. That will be interesting. Norman has the glider set up. We also get Doc Ock creating the arms in the prison. It felt like it was a bit too many post-credit scenes. I think they could have done the rich, and also forget to mention when Peter is done talking with Doctor Strange and he goes through the rings, we see Uatu, the Watcher, watching from behind in front of them. So obviously this technically is a what if because this is not the main MCU. Don't know if they're going to use Uatu Jeffrey Wright in the coming seasons again. The show has been renewed for 2 more seasons, so we're going to get a season 2 and 3. It was reported by the creators that they are halfway done animating the season 2. And if I'm not mistaken, next week they're going to be doing pitches for season 3. So they are already going to get this done. If I would assume, based on this release date, I would assume we're going to get this show, season 2, if not the end of this year, probably the same release date, same time next year. Again, I'm excited that the show obviously knew it was going to be renewed, so it did a lot of setting up. I think it did too much setup in the finale where it felt like 3/4 of the episode were actually things that concluded the show. And they left a lot of things open for future seasons, which I'm all cool setting things up. I just didn't think I needed 10 post-credit scenes of this is going to happen in season two, this is going to happen in season two, this is going to happen in season two. It felt like a little bit too much. They could have cut maybe 2 or 3 of those out, maybe did 3 or 4 setups instead of like 7 to 8 setups, because I just went through a lot, and that's all in the last 10 minutes of the episode. So it felt like a lot to digest. But still, overall, I thought this was an enjoyable show. I had a great time covering it. I would give it a final score of like a 4 out of 5 and 82. Yeah, I'll go 82%. I wish my major story problem is I think Lonnie felt like the second biggest character, most important character on the show. And his stuff kind of got wrapped up in the penultimate episode. I wish that character had a bit more to do in the finale other than just his mini post-credit scene, which is him becoming the leader of the 110th. I liked it in episode 9. Just wish he had more to do in the actual finale of the show. And I wish they held a little bit of those credit scenes for a season 2 instead of just showing us, hey guys, a little, carrot over your head. Here's what's going to happen in the next season. So, but still, really enjoyed the show. I had a great time covering it. So thanks for joining me on your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man videos. I'll see you guys very soon.